You ever hear a story that just shouldn't have happened? This is one of those. It's about two people moving on totally different tracks whose lives were never, ever supposed to cross. But they did. And we're going to explore what happens when two complete opposites try to build something real in a world that, well, kind of prefers illusion.
And that quote? That's the key to this whole thing. This isn't just about two people bumping into each other at the office. The source describes it as a quantum event. Think about that. Out of all the things that could happen, one of the most unlikely, most impossible ones just clicks into place. This is the story of one of those clicks.
All right, so let's get into it. Who are these people? But let's not think of them as just two individuals. Think of it more like a collision, like two completely different universes, two stubborn radio frequencies that somehow, against all odds, found a way to sync up. Okay, so check this out. This lays out just how different they were. On one side, you've got him. He calls himself a socially awkward superhero. He runs on instinct, a bit of chaos, and has this deep-down need to just fix things for people. And then you have her, the office armored warrior. Total opposite. She's all precision, a human firewall with a molten core. She operates like the rules were written for somebody else. It's like trying to mix mercury and water. They should just push away from each other. But somehow, they didn't. And here's the kicker. The moment they're told they're going to be a team, they both think this exact same thing. It wasn't excitement, it wasn't dread, it was something else entirely. It was this feeling, this knowing, that they were standing on the edge of something really, really big. So you'd think this would be a complete disaster, right? Two people that different forced to work together? But no, their differences, that became their superpower. Let's dig into how these two polar opposites managed to become this unstoppable force. But first, you gotta understand where they came from, because their paths were anything but easy. He'd been in Greece since '96, living this wild, free life in Mykonos. She shows up way later, in 2019, and gets thrown right into the deep end. We're talking a tiny shared room, bad food, a real trial by fire, not a warm welcome. The point is, both of them were forged in some pretty tough fires long before their worlds ever collided. So what was the one thing that actually pulled them together? Well, when they finally connect, they find out they shared this one absolutely critical trait, a massive allergy to bullshit. And suddenly, it all clicked. His chaos needed her structure. Her planning needed his gut instinct. Together, they were just relentless. They got things done. And you know who noticed? Management, of course. They saw this powerhouse duo and thought, perfect. So they started throwing every single Mission Impossible their way. All the crazy deadlines, the dumpster fires, the last-minute rescues, you name it. And these two, they kept saying yes. But here's the thing. It was never for the bosses. It was always to protect their people. It was all about integrity. But that's the tricky thing about integrity, isn't it? That deep-down sense of duty. It eventually puts you on a collision course with the system. And the very thing that made them so valuable, that's what turned them into a threat. Because after pulling off so many miracles, after saving the day again and again, something just snaps. They realized all those wins, all those impossible successes, they weren't a debt they owed. They were a permission slip. Permission they gave themselves to finally say no. And look, this wasn't them being difficult just for the sake of it. This was about drawing a clear line in the sand. It started with saying no to the kind of expectations that were just plain unsafe for their teams. And then came the big one. They said no to covering for their superiors' incompetence. They just refused to keep pretending that a totally broken system was fine. It was a choice, a simple one really. People over politics. Every single time. And you can just imagine how that went over, right? This quote says it all. A fragile system doesn't reward integrity. It sees it as a full-on attack. Their honesty wasn't a good thing. It was seen as rebellion. It was them shining a big, bright spotlight on all the things everyone was trying to keep in the dark. And just like that, the script gets flipped. Everything that made them incredible was twisted and used against them. His honesty? Suddenly that's a threat. Her courage? Oh, that's just an excuse to target her. It's a classic move. Take someone's greatest strength and turn it into their biggest weakness. So what happens when you get unplugged from the very system you helped build? For our narrator, it was a complete and total free fall. He was utterly lost, and you're about to see just how bad it got. The way he describes it, It's like reality was following this dark, twisted checklist on how to break a person. Step 1, cut them off from everyone. Step 2, tell them their years of work meant nothing. Step 3, call their integrity a character flaw. Step 4, delete their successes as if they never happened. And the final step, the real killer, leave them completely alone to wonder if they were ever worth anything at all.
And in that isolation, he just grinds. But he does it alone. I mean, look at this list. Building an AI app, juggling 2 jobs, starting an Etsy shop, making YouTube videos, all on almost zero sleep. This isn't a success story. This is a portrait of burnout. It's a frantic, desperate scramble to prove to yourself that you still matter.
And then, the breaking point. After all that frantic work, his AI account gets disabled. No warning. Months of work just gone in a second. And that was it. That was the brutal moment that underscored the truth. You can't win this kind of fight alone. It's a losing game.
But right there, at the absolute bottom, when it seems like it's all over, the story shifts. That quantum event we talked about at the beginning, it's about to happen again. Because he finally decides to stop fighting alone. Those 2 trajectories are about to get entangled, for good this time.
He reaches out to her. And look at this message. It's not some slick business proposal. It's just raw honesty. It's him basically saying, here's what I'm trying to do, and here's why. I know you're the only person who will get it without me having to explain everything. It's pure vulnerability, and it's him admitting he just can't do it alone.
And with that, their whole dynamic evolves. See, in the old world, he was the one who brought order to the chaos. But now, in this new world they're building, she's the one reminding him that there's actually magic in the chaos. That not having everything planned out isn't a flaw. It's the raw material you need for real creativity.
So what exactly are they building? Well, it's pretty simple. It's defined by being the exact opposite of where they came from. A place where saying no is not a crime. Where being good at your job isn't seen as a threat. Where integrity is the absolute baseline. And the source is brutally honest here. It is not shiny or easy. It's made of doubts and debt and a whole lot of sleepless nights. But crucially, they're finally free. And that brings us to this beautiful, paradoxical final thought. According to all the old rules, according to the system they left behind, they absolutely shouldn't be here. They should be broken and forgotten. But in this new reality, this quantum possibility they've collapsed into existence, they are exactly where they are meant to be. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many other impossible alliances are just one brave message away from becoming real?